G'day gamers, Gob here. Welcome back to Gob's Quickies. Now today is Snapshot Day and Snapshot 20W17A has dropped. Now this is probably one of the smaller snapshots. It's a very technical snapshot. So for most of us mere mortals who are just playing the game, there's not a lot to it. But there's a few things worth noting, and I shall do that now. Okay, so whilst I fly around this Basalt Delta biome, which is quite huge and very pretty, I love the ash falling effects, but look at all those magma cubes. Okay, so while I'm flying around here, I'll just tell you some of the things that have changed. Now, they have changed the loot tables for the Bastion remnants. Okay, so there was a lot of loot. And if you had a look at my last snapshot video, when we went through the remnants, there was a lot of goodies, and they have adjusted the amount of loot and the type of loot that you get from those remnants. So they'll still be good, and they'll still be probably one of my favourite places in the Nether, but it won't be as good as what it was. My goodness, this Delta is huge. I'm loving it. Okay, so one of the other things that they've done is, if you had have seen my previous snapshot, the ruined portals were introduced, and there were lots of them. Absolutely chockers with ruined portals. Well, they've changed it now so that the ruined portals aren't as frequent, which is probably a good thing, because there was so many that it was probably going to throw the game early on. Every time you found one of those ruined portals, you got a chest, and it was full of lots and lots of goodies, and it probably would have made it really OP early on. Okay, so another change they've done in the game is just a slight name change. Okay, so they've changed the name of that, they've changed the name of that, and they've changed the name of that. Okay, so previously it was Soulfire. Soulfire Campfire, Soulfire Lantern, and Soulfire Torch. Now it is Soul Campfire, Soul Torch, and Soul Lantern, which, you know what, I'm pleased with, because the other one was a bit of a mouthful. And aren't they awesome looking? Yes, they are. Okay, what we might do now is go to the overworld, and we will talk about some of the other changes. I'll see you when I get there. Right, so one of the other changes they've done is, remember how early on in the snapshots for 1.16 they introduced a functionality for the smithing table? Well, they've changed the interface on it, so it's a little bit more professional. Previously it was just a basic interface, and now it has its own UI. So chuck your diamond item in, chuck your piece of netherite in there, and you can upgrade your tool or armor as you see fit. So just a functionality change. One other change that they've done is walls. Oi, put that back. You, put it back. Yeah, you go in there. Go on, Scarpa. Yep, thank you. Bye. Don't get eaten by magma cubes. Okay, so as I was saying, they've changed in this update how walls interact with other items. We've now got the ability to build these snazzy looking features. Okay, so you can make the full walls of your house just out of walls. Brick walls, stone walls, endstone, whatever. So at the moment they look like that, but now they've allowed it that you can actually build a wall of your house out of it. And see, isn't that snazzy? I certainly will be making use of that feature. But what they've also now done is improved the number of ways that the wall turns into a post with things on it. Okay, so now you can place things like a pressure plate, and it'll turn into a post. Okay, so you can make it look like stools or small tables or things like that. I think that's really exciting. And you can put a banner on there and it'll turn into a post. So it's a nice little tweak to functionality, and for the builders out there, you'll probably be very, very excited with that. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about from this snapshot is I have changed the create game screen. Okay, so if this is your first time in Minecraft and you don't have any single player worlds at all, then the moment you click on single player, it will go straight to the create world menu. But I've got save games, so it won't do that for me, and I'm not going to delete them, but I'll show you what they've done as well in the new create. Okay, so go to single player, create new world. We'll give it the name of subscribe to Gobspitt. Okay, and this is no different. We always had that, but now we can change the difficulty of the world from the create screen. Previously you'd have to create your world, then go into options, but now you can jump straight in with the difficulty set. And they've introduced game rules to this menu. Now, for those of you who are familiar with doing game rules in-game by entering the command in the command line, this probably may not be such a biggie for you, but for those who don't even know that it exists or aren't that familiar, you can go into game rules here and you can change a number of the options that your game will use when you're playing. Okay, so you can turn off drowning, you can turn off fire damage, keep inventory after death, regenerate health, respawn locations, entity cramming thresholds, phantoms if you don't want those nasty phantoms to be in your game, and a whole heap of other things. Okay, so you can actually do some of your rules prior to going into the game, and that's just snazzy. The last thing I wanted to talk about is something that's got me feeling a little bit excited. And these guys are bouncing around with joy just thinking about it. But if you go into the snapshot screen for 20W17A and read all about it, the very first thing is they would like you to participate in a survey. And I'll put a description, I'll put a link to it in my description. But it's the fact that they're asking for input now that has me a little bit excited. Okay, and I did the survey today, and you go in there and asks you what your favourite biome is, and what's your favourite feature, and what's your least favourite feature, and all that sort of stuff. And it makes me wonder how close we are to the 1.16 update coming out, and I personally can't wait. If you liked this video, please give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Bounce on into my Patreon page and have a look at that, because patrons get recognition on the TryCraft server in the Patron Hall, but better yet, get to play on a TryCraft patron server with me and the other TryCrafters, and get to play Skyblock and Acid Island and just have a great time. But that's all I got time for today. Let's bounce with the magma cubes, and hooroo! Oh, that wasn't far. Bye.